He left out some important information, but that is the gist of it.
This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com and Trailer to Reaction. I've already looked at the trailer for The Flash. Great trailer, as I said, a movie I probably won't see. Though, what was also released was the trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which is more than likely the last movie we'll see from James Gunn produced for Marvel, because he is one of the co-heads of DC Studios. And this is an interesting movie for me. First off, because it involves the High Evolutionary, one of my favorite characters, as well as Adam Warlock. I wouldn't call Adam Warlock a favorite character, though I do like him a lot, and particularly his brother, Magus. Though, it's always interesting for me, the decisions in terms of design that are made for these movies. For instance, if you look at Adam Warlock from the comics as compared to the movie, there's similarities, to be sure. It's not the same by any stretch, and I don't think anyone would mistake one for the other. But color scheme wise and just the overall look is very similar. Though, let's look at another example. The High Evolutionary in the comics, the High Evolutionary in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. His color has changed entirely, and I don't understand that. Though, I think maybe the decision was made to not have him look similar to Adam Warlock, who is very much reds and oranges. So I guess I understand it from that perspective. Though, I would have liked it if they had managed to somehow make the High Evolutionary red. And even if that meant toning down Adam Warlock's costume, something I don't think is a bad thing, frankly. I think it's a little overdone, truth be told. But toning down Adam Warlock and making the High Evolutionary red would, I think, be a better way to go. In any case, let's look at the new trailer that was aired during the Super Bowl for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm Star-Lord. I formed the Guardians. Met a girl, fell in love. That girl died, but then she came back. Came back a total dick.
Oh, please.
He left out some important information, but that is the gist of it.
I get the same old dreams, same time every night. Fall to the ground and I wake up.
My sacred mission
Is to create the perfect society.
He didn't want to make things perfect. He just hated things the way they are.
I want you all to know that I'm grateful to fight beside my friends.
Incinerate them. We were always searching for a family until we found each other.
Are you ready for one last ride?
We'll all fly away together. Into the forever and beautiful sky.
Whoever it was that you were in love with, it sounds more like her.
Her? That's ridiculous.
Do not bring me into this.
Just never noticed how black your eyes were.
They were replaced by my father as a method of torture.
He picked a pretty set.
Well, that was the trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And this, for me, is peak James Gunn. Which is to say, well, all the Guardians movies are peak James Gunn. Which is to say, he doesn't indulge in his worst impulses in them. They're very heartwarming, while being dramatic, funny, while not being Taika Waititi stupid. Frankly, which I think his Thor movies were becoming. So that's a good thing. And that's what I've said before scares me about Gunn heading DC Studios, co-heading I should say. Without someone to keep him in check, to rein in those impulses, we might get another The Suicide Squad, which is a movie I genuinely don't like. That's not to say that there aren't good things about it, but its violence and catering to the lowest possible denominator was disappointing to me. And keep in mind, I love horror movies, and I don't mind a little bit of gore. But the thing is, it wasn't necessary in that case. And what James Gunn did with the Suicide Squad is, to my mind, very similar to what Zack Snyder did with Superman. And it's no coincidence that the Suicide Squad was executive produced by Zack Snyder and his wife. It's that you take these things away from children. These are comic book characters. Children, or at the very least young people, early teens, should be able to watch these movies without an adult being present. And so, to see that attitude continuing without Zack Snyder directing was really disappointing to me. So, I am open to what James Gunn is trying to do with DC. What he appears to be trying to do with DC. But if he doesn't rein in those tendencies I alluded to earlier, then I'm not going to even bother. So what do you think? This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com and Trailer to Reaction. Do you agree, disagree? Let me know down below. And as usual, consider a like or a follow. Peace.